we're going to be rooting for these two. Dolan definitely has some work to do to get back into the series, and Crayon just one more win away from meeting Bly in the winners match.
Ooh, that would be a very interesting thing because I don't usually see a whole lot of ZVZs. So a ZVZ on the high level might be kind of an interesting new thing for me.
Yeah, so we're going to be loading into this map here. The game's just about to start, and we're live. So let's go ahead and get this overlay figured out. And the top left-hand corner of Coda, it is the blue Terran player from Team Ascension Pro. Can he come back in the series to force game number 3? It is Dolan.
His opponent at the bottom right, once again on Coda, we have Cran spawning as a purple Zerg player representing Endurance Esports.
So Zuka,
Mm-hmm.
do you know how much money is on the line for these players in this tournament?
Isn't it like a $700 prize pool?
You are correct, good sir. It is a $700 prize pool. $700 from different individuals who have want to contribute to esports. They want to get their hands into the passion pool, drink the Kool-Aid of passion, and sponsor the RSL so that these players have a chance to win some of the money from a $700 prize pool. What do you think of that?
I think that is absolutely amazing. It's good to see people representing esports, but also not on the completely professional level. I'm a big proportion of having semi-professional or amateur um, content that or tournaments or things like that that give them an opportunity to kind of feel the same way that the pros do. And it also gives a lot of players who are like GM the kind of a sneak peek to what it's like to be a professional player.
Yeah, so it's really exciting. So shout out to War Battle, an individual who was actually with Endurance Esports for a time, but unfortunately had to step down from his position to kind of take a breather. I think is what happened there. I'm not sure the exact details, but we thank him for his contribution to the RSL. Rally Hearts, a streamer of StarCraft 2 as well, definitely contributing to that prize pool as well. We have Loringe, another rival gaming member, and then of course myself, the founder of this tournament. So a big shout out to those people who contributed to the prize pool.
Yep, it's just not the same when you don't have the money on the line. So it's good to have that kind of incentive. Now, as far as this series and this game is concerned, what do you think Dolan's going to try to do to get himself back into this, to kind of swing the momentum back into his favor?
Yeah, that's a very good question, and honestly, what I'm seeing from Dolan, this is a very unusual wall off from a Terran player in general on this map. We do see that most Terran players, if they're going to do any one base things, they keep it in their main base, but Dolan kind of thinking ahead, trying to be like, okay, maybe I can do this with wall off at the natural. So we're gonna have to see if he has any trickery that he's planning on, or if this is just another timing that he has, or if he just wants to feel extra secure when getting his second command center. We'll find out here, but we do see some of these Marines are going to try to take out some of these Lings, but Lings are going to be able to clean up.
And they are going to be heading out across the map. Crane going to be already dropping down his Roach Warren, feeling pretty confident that Hellions are going to be heading on the map at some point. And, well, that suspicion is probably going to prove correct for him.
Yeah, and we do actually see that there's a reactor down at that barracks, so finally that full wall off is going to come, but Ling's not going to be able to get in, but we're going to see a double reactor. So is this going to be that same strategy we saw the first time, or are we going to see something new?
I'd kind of hope to see something new, considering that Cran had a pretty solid defense as far as being able to take care of it last game. So seeing something new would probably turn out to be more in Dolan's favor than doing the same thing, because I think that Cran would almost kind of expect it at this point.
Yeah, but we do see that another factory is coming up, and it's actually making a tech lab this time. So we have a reactored barracks and a reactored factory and now a tech lab factory as well. So this is going to be a little bit different, but it looks like conceptually it might be the same thing. But we'll have to find out. But he does see roaches are on the way, so first bunker's going to go down, and now this is where some of the defense is going to come in. So definitely got to figure out the bunker placement and get it down pretty quick because roaches are on the way.
Yes, indeed, and I think that reactor barracks is probably for the bunker. Because it seems like he's gonna stop producing after that and try to maybe build up some tanks from that tech lab. Yeah, it looks like he has one tank about to finish up, which should be able to hold this off.
Yeah, but we're gonna see. This supply depot might go down, and if this supply depot goes down, that might mean the roaches are gonna be able to get in. But tank does get a couple of shells off, so I'm gonna be able to keep these roaches at bay. Definitely not enough roaches to get in the fray. But
they're definitely going to snipe that reactor actually on the factory, which is going to make it a lot harder for him to produce, well, anything besides, I think, basic aliens, and I think that's basically it off of what you can just produce with the factory alone.
yeah, so
I
we're
think
gonna
he
see
can do
that.
what it might.
Yeah, reactor is gonna go ahead and switch. So leaving this wall a little bit exposed here for these roaches, but that tank's gonna keep this Terran player safe for the time being.
But the question is for how long. We already have Aspire on the way, which means Mutalisks are not too far off. If Dolan doesn't have much in the term of anti-air, the Mutalisks could just get into the main base and, well, do as Mutalisks do and just kill everything.
Yeah, but we're gonna see that an army's going down, so we might see a Hellbat timing also come out too. So that Hellbat timing can go with these tanks as well. Then Dolan has a chance to maybe shut this down, but he doesn't have as much anti-air as he probably feels like he should. So
No, quite little anti-air if you think about it. Yes, the Marines are there, but Marines are going to die very quickly if they're focus fired down by a large enough group of Mutalisks.
yeah, but we do see that some roaches are actually going to get in. So SCVs get pulled off the line, trying to get that surround, but they're just going to get pulled back here. So another tank's being produced, so that should be enough to keep these roaches at bay. But we do see that there is going to be this push coming up here. So tanks are going to start sieging up here, and they're going to go ahead and start laying down the fire. So Spy Crawler is just finishing up. They're going to get one shot off before they get taken out. And we're going to see that they're going to start focusing down this hatch here. The Hellbat's coming to the side, going to try to get some drone kills. And tanks are going to start doing the leapfrog. So we're going to see a ton of drones actually going down. So all of them from the natural as they try to escape to the third. But one Mutalist pops out, but this is going to be the end of that natural base.
And Crayon definitely going to take a big hit from losing that natural expansion, and definitely going to lose a little bit of his foothold. He does have that third base on the way. I think that's about to, oh no, that's actually finished up. So we'll get back into this if he is able to hold this, but he's still going to take quite a bit of damage with it.
Yeah, this is a ton of damage that's gonna be done, even with these Mutalisks going down. But there's just not enough for them to actually do a lot of damage. So these tanks are gonna be able to get a lot of damage in at these drones. So we see that 6 more drones are going down, 7, 8, and now they're finally gonna get taken out. But it's 56 supply to 35.
And 31 workers throughout the course of this game for Dolan, which is going to be huge. And you can see that from the worker count, 36 to 14 right now. Terran's taking a massive advantage of that.
Yeah, but they're going to have to get more Marines up here. The missile turrets aren't going to be done in time. So a Thor does come out, so that actually might be the winning defense here. SCV's coming to go ahead and get that repaired, and we see Contaminant actually going down on that factory. It's a spell that we don't normally see here, but this Thor is actually going to stay alive, and with these Marines, we're going to take out these Mutalisks and push them back.
If that doesn't show you the power of Master Repair, I don't know what else can. Definitely going to keep that Thor alive as long as possible. Yeah, the Contaminate goes off, and actually, that lasts for quite a bit, stopping the Thor production for the moment.
Yeah, so we only see 3 Mutalisks now, and Crayon's going to try to drone up here, but Crayon just doesn't have many drones to get any minerals, so It's not much he's going to be able to do. Maybe stop these Hellions, be able to chase them off, but
yeah, definitely going to be a little bit hard for Crayon to be able to do a whole lot because, like you said, he just doesn't have the money. He doesn't have the workers to get the money, so he has to slowly try to build those up, as well as trying to build the units that he needs to do to buy him time so that he can build up his drones, so that he can build up his economy. It's kind of a spinning death spiral that just does more and more damage as the game goes on.
yeah, and 3 Mutalisks almost tickling on these Hellions. They're not really taking too much damage, and granted, there are these lings that change that mind here, but this is just going to keep Crayon busy while Dolan is going to go ahead and get up for another attack.
Yes, and he's only on 2 base when his opponent's on 3, which means that he's going to have... He might not have as much income, but he's going to have a lot bigger of an army, which, considering that Crayon has basically nothing but workers right now, is definitely going to work into his favor if he's trying to end this soon, which is probably a pretty good idea because he has a massive advantage.
Now we're going to see these Mutalisks are going to try to fly around, trying to get some more damage in. Just trying to figure out where they poke, but there's just missile turrets all around, so 4 Mutalisks going to absolutely get ripped apart by these turrets.
Does get a changeling though, which is always nice. Going to get a little bit of information as far as the army composition.
Gets taken out pretty quickly though, and we do see that the full commitment to mech is here.
Yes, and that's actually not that bad of a decision, I think, as long as he doesn't sit back for too long and he moves out and tries to pressure Cran. I think he can do quite a bit with it because the Thors will take care of any Mutalisk production that Crayon wants to do. The tanks will help with any sort of roach production, and of course you have the Hellbats there to deal with any sort of link floods.
Yeah, definitely, and we're going to see them move out on the map, so a ton of roaches are actually on the way here, and actually we're seeing the supply count going up for Crayon. He's trying to crawl his way back into this.
But he does get slightly supply locked there, which is going to halt that pretty quickly.
Siege tank going to siege up, and we're going to see a handful of roaches and some lings going to be ready, but this is a terrifying mech force already.
And mech only gets more and more terrifying as far as the game goes on. So Crayon needs to find an advantage here and just kind of run with it, but it's really hard because Dolan is covering all of his bases.
Yeah, so we're going to see an engagement going down here, so we see the roaches are trying to spread out so that siege tank doesn't get that splash damage, but there's just a ton of Thors here, and Hellions, or excuse me, Hellbats are going to be gone, but 5 Thors, they're just going to be able to stomp through a lot of things, so.
Actually, been able to catch off from a couple of Overlords maybe here.
Yeah, but we do
roaches are
see,
going to try to push in.
yeah, but we do see these roaches are going to go ahead and get one down, and we actually see the Mutalisks are actually going to come in, and Mutalisks are going to risk their lives here, but that auto-targeting by the Thors to the Mutalisks actually is what's going to save this Crayon. Still, these Thors are going to go down with these roaches.
It looks like he might lose a couple of units that got rallied down when they probably shouldn't have, which is always going to just going to help out Crayon a little bit more as he goes on. He's going to push out with more roaches, but he doesn't really have a whole lot to kind of go past this, so I'm interested to kind of see if he's just going to try to roach and push and see if he can finish his opponent here, because right now he doesn't look like he has much of a backup plan.
Yeah, so we saw that he lost a lot of those units, so just these siege tanks and a couple Hellbats and this Thor is going to be savior, so the siege tank's going to be able to get a lot of AoE damage in, which will hold off this attack at this time, but Crayon actually in a pretty decent spot with getting his supply back. Granted, they are in roaches, which will lose its effectiveness, but Dolan, if he's not careful, he could lose this. It's very easy for him to just lose the lead at this point, so Dolan really having to be careful.
Yes, indeed. It looks like Crayon is starting to take back his Harvester, I want to say lead, but he's starting to get kind of back into it as far as his economy is concerned, which is just going to make these roaches, or whatever else wants to build afterwards, that much more effective. He's going to be able to snipe a reactor, or excuse me, refinery on the gas, which is going to make it a little bit annoying for Dolan to try to collect his gas, which is kind of a valuable resource as far as mech is concerned.
Yeah, so we're going to see that some more units are going to be out here, so I think Dolan's going to be able to swat this away, but Dolan definitely showing that he's not out of the woods yet, and Crayon looking to see, looking to get back into this game, and he's getting pretty close. He's disadvantaged in many ways, but he's a lot further ahead than he was 5 minutes ago.
Yes, yes, indeed. And Crayon's going to be going right back into Mutalisk production, which is... I'm not sure how I necessarily feel about that with the number of Thors that are currently in the army, or I guess there aren't any in there right now, but there are Vikings and Thors, and he just has really good anti-air defense. So I think maybe going for something more like Hydralisk or something that's not quite as focused in the air would maybe be more advantageous for him.
Yeah, but he does have a good amount of Mutalisks out right now. He actually has 12 out, and with 12, that's kind of the number that you can start being able to do the magic box. So if you slowly start taking away the anti-air of the Terran player with Mutalisks, Mutalisks actually would be a really good choice because of the amount of siege tank investment that's already down here. So might be a good choice here, but he has to hit and strike before more Thors come out here. Otherwise, that magic box is going to get less effective.
And the three Thors being produced at a time right now. That window is closing very, very quickly.
Yeah, but if these Thors are out of position, these Mutalisks might be able to do a thing. But Mutalisks are going to be more patrollers this time around than not.
Yeah, they're also going to run directly into a scan, so Dolan knows that that number of Mutalisks are on the field, and he's going to be able to take the precautions needed in order to defend against them.
Yeah, so we're going to see these roaches and lings are going to move out, try to see what they can do, which is not going to be anything, but another command center going down for Dolan as well. So Dolan's going to be able to place that over on this right side as soon as he clears those lings. So this game is kind of stabilized, but Crayon definitely having a little bit of work to do before he can get back into this series.
And Dolan is moving out with a practically maxed out mech army, and this is the point where the Zerg is probably feeling very scared because a mech army, maxed out mech army, is just terrifying to have to deal with.
Yeah, so we do see the drones are going to just get evacuated. They're just going to go to this fourth base over here. So he's going to go ahead and give up this base and try to get the right positioning in order to do it. But he's going to have to be able to time his engagement. But we do see Mutalisks are going to go and start taking out, doing some harassment in the back end here now that the majority of the anti-air is gone. So we're going to see that even tanks going to be right here, but missile turrets go down like no other because we have 31 Mutalisks on the field. So it's going to be a heyday. It's going to be raining Guades.
That is an insane amount of Mutalisks right now. And definitely doing a good job of keeping his opponent. When the mech army moved out across the map, he got Mutalisks out as quickly as possible and kind of is punishing Dolan for choosing a style that's not as mobile, and so the Mutalisks are just going to be able to get a lot of free damage. I mean, 33 SCVs have been killed so far by just the Mutalisks alone.
Yeah, but a lot of anti-airs here, so, and it's going to come at his own cost because his third base has gone down, his fourth base has been gone down, so, and as you can see, the SCV counts and the drone count is very low right now. But good move with the contaminant, but these Mutalisks definitely have some work to do to get things got back up.
Yeah, one Thor is going to be back home to defend, which is going to make it a little bit harder. There's a Hellbat kind of pushing over down to this southernmost base, which is going to be able to clear out all of those drones. And Dolan looking pretty strong here, moving up into the natural expansion.
Oh no, these Mutalisks, they're choosing to get clumped up here, so this Thor is going to be able to get a good shot off them, and that splash damage is just terrible. They do take it out in the end, but definitely taking a lot of damage, so Dolan's Mutalisk flock of 31 doesn't look too mighty anymore.
Well, it is still large enough to be able to get some damage done, able to take out those missile turrets pretty handily, and now Dolan, his mech army, is going to force to be retreated, but that's he got a lot of workers killed and back down again to 13 workers, so definitely able to get some damage done. And right now I think Dolan just kind of has the advantage coming off of that attack.
Yeah, but Dolan definitely has a supply advantage, a huge one, and he still has his army, so that's the terrifying thing that's here, that Dolan's army has been uncontested and has not been losing anything, but these Mutalisks have been bleeding, so they are getting some of these worker kills, but a 33 worker to 13 worker, I think Dolan has this in the bag.
Yeah, no, I'm going to definitely agree with you. I think Dolan is just in a much better position right now. He has a lot of anti-air to deal with the Mutalisk, and right now that's pretty much what Crayon has. He's forced to basically try to build up his economy once again, which is going to make it extremely hard for him to also produce the army that he needs in order to break Dolan, and I think that at the end of the day is going to be what kills him.
Yeah, so Roaches are going to try to get some more done, and there's still 28 SCVs that have been taken out, so Crayon not out of this yet, but just the 92 army supply to 27 is just unreal. I don't know what Crayon's going to be able to do.
Right now, his best bet is to try to poke at the Terran, delay him, not let him push out. Because if the Terran player pushes out right now, Crayon is going to lose. He needs to delay this game as long as possible so that he can get his economy back in. But at the end of the day, it looks like he just can't do that.
Yeah, so Crayon calling GG. We're going to see an ace match at this best of 3 series. So good job, Dolan, for being able to get back into the series to get a fighting chance.
Yes, indeed, and going to the best of 3 at the third match. And that's going to be interesting. We'll see if Dolan can kind of keep with that kind of momentum. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Or if Crayon can kind of get back to his bases and then take this last game.
Yeah, definitely. But we do see that it's a 1-1 series, and our third map is actually going to be Terraform. So, Terraform. Another 2-player map, map that's known for its circular pathing.
It's like